What up, everybody? Welcome back to For Publications YouTube channel. It's always me, Rich. And for those of you that don't know, we talk about zines, DIY culture, basically the ins and outs of starting and operating a print media business like the one I have, which is basically a small publishing company. And you caught me in the act. I'm over here doing some mundane shit, and I want to mention one thing from the beginning, which is that the San Francisco Zine Fest just launched their whole Cyber Zine Fest, which is going to start today all the way until the 26th. It's a whole month of just dopeness, right? So you have events throughout the month where they'll introduce you to different zinesters. They have workshops, art workshops that you can participate on an online kind of community and do like live art and things like that. Risograph demo as well as a screen printing demo. And like a whole bunch of other shit, man. You guys gotta check it out. If you're not up to that, go ahead and check that out now. Beyond that, I want to talk about the stamp that's gonna go with the mini zines, right? I have two ideas and I wanted to get some feedback on that if you guys have the time and just want to share, right? I have one where it's a sheet that says, "Don't be a sheeple, read zines," right? So that's one idea. I'm working on the sketches and things like that. And then I have another idea where basically I'm going to do some fan art of Hannibal Lecter, and it's going to say, "You know who else reads zines? Hannibal Lecter." But those are the two ideas that I have for the stamp. I think tomorrow I'm going to have to go ahead and make a run to Hobby Lobby to purchase one. Another thing that I've been working on today is getting the screen ready to do some screen printing. So I was just degreasing it, and I got to get it ready with the emulsion, all that good stuff. Out of paper now, because I printed this whole stack that for the second half of my workday, I'm going to go ahead and just finish folding and cutting these suckers up. And then on top of that, just go ahead and edit this video. And that's how I'm going to end the day, man. I'm really digging my work, man. Like, I'm getting into a rhythm. And like I said, even the monotonous shit that sometimes you wish you didn't have to do, I'm enjoying because, like I said, it's part of the process. And that's where I'm at right now. And it's just fun to get it going, to have traction and to have movement. As far as the camera, I don't know when we're going to get into that because I'm waiting for one more quote. I feel like I've waited this long, might as well wait, because what if that last quote is better than the best one I have now? I'm feeling like they might be taking a little bit longer because of Labor Day weekend, so I'm thinking by Tuesday I should know what their quote is, at which point then I can go ahead and pull the trigger, shoot that out, potentially buy the next vending machine, on Tuesday. Depending on how that process works, which is something that we'll go through and we'll talk about. Once I have two, then potentially, depending upon how much each one brings on average, we can start talking about the next one, right? That's why I'm really eager to get this out. I feel like this week coming up, I'm going to be out and about trying to hunt down a location for the first vending machine, now that it's done and I'm just finishing up the last few details to get it out. It's gonna be fun and interesting to see, what the results are. But yeah, man, like the monotonous shit, that's the shit they don't talk to you about in a lot of small businesses. Like they always make it sound cool and sexy, and then some people talk about it but not very in depth. But you have to pay attention to every little thing you do, right? If I'm looking at each one of these little mini zines as something that potentially a new zine reader is gonna get, I want it to look its best. You know what I mean? And so it's one of those things of like, even though it's something that you feel is a small thing, because you're a small business, every small thing matters, right? It kind of goes back to like filmmaking, right? Like people talk about like when you have less of a budget, that means that the things you are in control of, you have to really pay attention. Meaning if you don't have a big budget, that means the script better be on point, right? If you don't have special effects, that framing better be on point, you know what I mean? And so on and so forth, right? The cinematography, right? The lighting, all that shit, the ambiance, the music, all of it has to be on point. And I think that that's where my small business is at, where I don't have a lot, but the things that I do have, I need to, focus and really try to execute to the best of my ability at the moment. And that's why even though there's this kind of like, oh, well, this is kind of boring, like who wants to do this? There is also that excitement of like, oh shit, this is, the way I fold it, the creases that I leave on these zines is what's gonna go into somebody's hands, right? And the errors or the perfection or whatever it is that, in the spectrum that it lands, it's gonna have an impact on somebody. But yeah, man, beyond that, I've been working on Feral Comics issue number 7. Remember that Feral Comics is a comic zine anthology that Feral Publication publishes. We pay contributors, so if you're an artist and you want to get some work in there, just go ahead and email me. That's it, man. That's all I got for you guys, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow, right? Lights.
Fight the fascists.